All right, Capricorn. We need to have a meeting. We need to go over some things. To me, the divine lesson of Capricorn, to summarize in a nutshell, is money doesn't make you happy. Happy makes you money. So, have you ever noticed that, you know, when you're at a job that you hate and you have to sacrifice something? Like, if I was working at a job that I just absolutely hated and I had to sacrifice a night's worth of sleep for that job, I would be really bitter about it. And I would be, I would probably go to work the next day feeling really angry and resentful and, definitely not working my best the next day. But if I was doing a job that I absolutely loved, the kind of job that, you're really passionate about, that just sets your heart ablaze with passion, if I had to stay up all night for that job, I wouldn't even see it as a sacrifice. I would just see it as this is what needs to be done, so I'm doing it. And it doesn't even really feel like work when you're doing that kind of job. It doesn't feel like work at all. It's just, this is what I want to do, and this is what needs to be done to make this happen, so I'm doing it. Don't sell your soul for a paycheck, Capricorn. If you believe you can do something, or if you believe you can't do something, either way, you're right. Because if you don't believe that you can make a living doing what you love, then you're never going to try. And you just proved yourself right by not trying. Anything is possible, so by believing in yourself, you just took the first step up the Capricorn mountain to success. If your brain is hardwired for negativity, and if you have a lot of Capricorn energy, it probably is. So fix that. Make that your new job. Apply that good old discipline and responsibility to working on yourself. And that doesn't mean don't be you anymore. You can still have high standards and, emphasizing your legacy and your reputation. You already know that in order to get money, you have to sacrifice something, either your time, energy, or resources. You can't get something for nothing in this world. But maybe you were a slave in your past life. If you believe in past lives, the likelihood of you being a slave in one of those past lives is very likely. And if you worked hard your whole life as a slave and never received a dime, maybe now, in this lifetime, it's time for you to collect your dimes from all those past lives of being a slave and not getting paid for your work or your sacrifice. Maybe that's why you see people suddenly getting rich while doing little to no work. If Mayat rules this dimension, everybody gets what they give, or what they believe they deserve. If you were a slave in 100 lifetimes, and you're still in slave mode, and you don't think you're worth $1 million, you got to fix that right now, because we are entering the age of easy money, and it's time to fix those self-worth issues so you can collect your check. So Capricorn is the sign of, what is my legacy? What is my contribution to society, to the community? Capricorn, if your life sucks, it's because your mind. So the divine lesson of Capricorn is realizing that negative thoughts equals negative life. So you can see here on the zodiac wheel, let's put Capricorn on the horizon. So if you are a Capricorn rising. Then you have Capricorn on the horizon line right here. And what does that mean? That means Sagittarius is your 12th house. And what is Sagittarius? Sagittarius is the sign of comedy and joyfulness and optimism. And the 12th house is the subconscious. So this aspect of your personality is in your subconscious. That's why you're so negative. That's why you can't see from an optimistic perspective in your conscious mind. But that's the key. Have you ever wondered why Sagittarius people are always so lucky and they're always like winning stuff and things just happen easily for them? It's because they have that positive mindset. And so if you can learn to loosen your grip on negative thoughts and judgments, I think you'll start to notice that things do happen more easily for you and you have less blockages. Less blockages. That's very important because I'm sure that as a Capricorn you experience a lot of restrictions and blockages because Saturn is your ruling planet. My North Node is in Capricorn, so I'm probably going to be learning the divine lesson of Capricorn for the rest of my life. So if you are one of those Capricorns who just takes themselves and their lives way too seriously, just lighten up, you know? Lighten the hell up. So one of the ways to overcome Saturn's restrictiveness is by lightening up, by being more optimistic about things. Because by believing that things are going to turn out negative, you're actually manifesting that into your reality. And the other way to defeat Saturn is through Mars. So if you are coming up against a Saturn wall, I like to use the analogy of a brick wall for Saturn because Saturn is structure and restrictions. So if you think of a Saturn blockage as like a brick wall, Mars is like a wrecking ball. So if you take action, Mars is action, take some more action, take some more action, and keep taking action, and eventually you will break through that barrier and you will be able to overcome that obstacle. So a practical example of this would be, let's say you were having some sort of trouble getting your passport and they told you, no, you're not going to be able to get your passport because X, Y, and Z. And so then you take action. You take action towards those steps, towards overcoming those blockages. And then you go back to the passport office and they tell you, okay, that's great, now that's taken care of, but now you have this blockage. Then you take action on that blockage. And you keep taking action on those blockages until you overcome them. So, fire energy really is how you overcome Saturn. The fiery action energy of Aries and the fiery optimism of Sagittarius. You don't have to be so serious and negative all the time. So the divine lesson of Capricorn: stop judging everything and everyone. Stop automatically assuming that things are going to turn out bad. You don't have to be so judgmental. Stop judging everything and everyone. Your life will be better if you do. You know what? I think the divine lesson of Capricorn is actually really similar to the divine lesson of Virgo. Because that's part of who you are, is to be judgmental. But you just have to balance that judgment and make sure that judgment is being directed into the correct place. because you wouldn't be able to achieve the heights that you're going to achieve in your life if you didn't have that judgment. So be judgmental about yourself and your work, of course, but don't be judgmental of everything and everyone. Remember, Capricorn, money doesn't make you happy. Happy makes you money. Stop judging people. Be judgmental about your work. Be serious about your work. But leave room for optimism and fun in your life.